Hey, howdy, hi, folks. Welcome to R-CADE Glasgow's in-game chat, our interview show here on the R-CADE Glasgow YouTube channel. I am joined with Ali of ShadowTeam, the developer of the game Shadow Gangs, a love letter to the Shinobi franchise, available now on Xbox One, Switch, Steam, and Dreamcast as a physical copy. Ali, how are you doing this evening?
I'm good, Sam. Thank you. How are you doing?
I'm excellent. I'm warm for some reason. Scotland shouldn't be this temperature, but it is what it is. So as I've just said, you're the developer of Shadow Gangs. Explain to us what the game is about, the general plot, and again, your love of the Shinobi franchise, I suppose.
Yes, so Shadow Gangs is it's a 2D action platform beat 'em up style of game. So there is quite different genres to it. So it's mainly an arcade game. And it's very much takes a lot of influence from arcade games from the 90s, 80s, end of 80s, start of 90s, like Shinobi, mainly Shinobi. So I would say like 95% Shadow Gangs is Shinobi. The first Shinobi, 1987. A lot of influence also from Bad Dudes in Dragon Ninja. There's a lot in the Vigilant, beat 'em up game, Double Dragon, Final Fight, Street Fighter 2. Yeah, so this kind of end of 80s, mainly end of 80s arcade games. So
is that your peak interest of video games? Is that the genre and the era that has defined your interest in video games?
Yeah, so I started playing in the arcades in the starting like 87, 86, 87. So I go to the arcade, so playing like Outrun, Hang-On, games like this, Shinobi. So that was the era where I started to spend a lot of time in the arcades. So I was going before, so it was mainly my uncle. So my uncle used to take me to the arcades, like for me to have better reflexes. So because he saw I was a little bit not lazy, but a little bit I wasn't like I was a little bit I didn't have like good reflexes and fast and everything. So he thought that the arcades might improve my reflexes. So I was taking me to the arcades like 84, 85. But I was still young. I was like, I think I was like 7-year-old, 8-year-old. I wasn't yet into video games at that time. But as I grow up, yeah, like when I was 12-year-old, yeah, I started to spend much more time in the arcades. And
did it help with your reflexes and hand-eye coordination, or has it not worked out that way?
I don't think so. I don't think. but for him, yeah, definitely did help. So
okay.
So yes.
Is your uncle still around? If you don't mind my asking.
He's still around.
Yeah, is he still alive? Is my way.
No, he died. Yeah, he actually died a year ago. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. I'm sorry. Well, hopefully you still got to share some video game love with him while he was here. Yeah,
so it was pretty much my. The first time I saw video games was with him. Yes.
It was with him. Oh, excellent. On to Shadow Gang slightly. I say slightly, very much so. Is there a reason that the main villain reminds me of Freddie Mercury? Is that intentional?
Yeah. So when I started Shadow Gang, so I didn't want the game to be a standard type of game or a game that takes itself very seriously. Or so I wanted to do what I liked in the game. I wanted to put like famous people in it, like Rambo, Sylvester Stallone, Jean-Claude Van Damme. Famous like martial art actors. So I wanted to do something like this. I put maybe adverts everywhere, like Coca-Cola here, Pepsi there, something like that. So I was thinking, but slowly I came to realize that it's not that easy to do things like this. So there is like copyright, there is licenses. So it was not possible at all. So I started to remove stuff. So if some people will see some of the first demos of Shadow Gangs, did have a level, the demo level did have like Kim Kardashian on a wall.
Oh, okay.
So I thought it was cool to have ninjas in there jumping and on a mural of Kim Kardashian. But yeah,
is that the demo that's still available through your Kickstarter page, or was that an earlier version of the game?
Yeah. So that was the first demo version of the game, but it's not public anymore.
Okay.
So yeah, that one got removed.
Go ahead.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Yeah, but there is some hints to it in the artbook. In the artbook, there is something about that. Yeah.
All right. Excellent.
Yeah.
What is your experience with games design? How long have you been doing it, or is this your first project?
Yeah, just so I go back to Freddie Mercury. So
sorry, yes, of course.
Yeah, because it's a funny thing. So Freddie Mercury, how it came to be in the game. So I was in Eurogamer, so I went to Eurogamer. I was thinking, okay, I will go. I post about it in there about the new Ninja game and see people reaction to it. If it is something that people are interested on or not. So like it was like for me as a test. If I continue doing shadow games, so I just drop this thing. So slowly I started going there. The forum is not here anymore, but I started posting good positive reactions, negative ones. So a mix of reactions, and then someone asked, "Is it possible to have villains that are like Freddie Mercury in there?" Or so I said, "Yeah, why not? Let's try." So I asked the artist to draw Freddie Mercury, and there was some modifications to it, but it ended up in the game like that. So that's the story of it.
That's the story. Just because someone suggested throwing him in.
Yeah, yes, and also for me, I wanted to put like Rambo, Jean-Claude Van Damme. So for me, it was a good thing to put. And also, I like Queen a lot. So
I was about to say, are you a Queen fan?
Yeah. I'm a big fan of Freddie Mercury or Queen. So yeah, it's a good thing.
So it sounds like early on you were taking quite a lot of inspiration and advice from the audience, from people who would be maybe buying the game. Was that intentional, or were you just talking about it and you were getting a lot of feedback?
No, it was intentional. So people might think it was feedback, but for me, it was intentional. I wanted to check people reactions to everything in the game. So for example, at first Dan, the main hero of Shadowguns, he was like wearing like bicycle shorts, like tight shorts, so that was for me something, because I wanted the hero to be like Jean-Claude Van Damme in Bloodsport movie. So I put him in that attire, but people didn't like it at all. Like they didn't like that. So they said it was bicycle shorts and and other stuff, and so just drop that. So I didn't want to drop it at all at first, because that was my idea. This was what I wanted to do. But slowly I came to realize there is like 90% of people didn't like it. Like in several websites, several forums I was posted, and also on the main game website. So I ended up changing him to someone with the jeans and with the jacket, like 80s style. Yeah. Yes. So the feedback was So for me, it was intentional to get the pulse of people. Like, do they like the game? What is it going on or not?
Oh, excellent. In terms of creating the game itself, what is your experience of games design? Is this the first project you've worked on, or have you previously done other games?
Yeah, so I did a lot of other games before. So a lot. So some AAA games. 3D shooting games, 2D games. 2D games, not much. It was like I started programming on MSX. I did some small demos and small games, but nothing major. But yes, no, Shadowguns is not the first.
Not the first.
It was after a lot of games. Yeah.
What are some titles that we might have heard of that you worked on?
Yeah, so I worked on Aliens vs Predator for Xbox. I worked on Sniper Elite 2 and 3, Carmageddon, and a lot of other games. Yeah.
So how come you've now branched out on your own and you're producing a game like this independently?
Yeah, so the truth is, after 1995, I stopped playing games. Like stopped. I just don't feel the games anymore. Like I didn't feel the 3D. I didn't like the PlayStation graphics. I didn't like what I wanted. I played some RPG games, like 3D RPG games, like Ultima Ascension, Vampire Bloodlines, because I like that style of games. But for games like platform action, beat them up, I stopped playing them like 95. Yeah, that was for me the end of that type of games, because things changed. A lot of companies started using 3D modeled graphics, and then they turned them into 2D, like Donkey Kong style. Or I did like what I liked is like the hand drawn look of the end of 80s, start of 90s game. So that disappeared completely after 95, I think. So yes, so what I wanted with Shadowgangs is to come back to that style of games and of graphics.
But you were working obviously for if you were working on Aliens versus Predators and the games you mentioned earlier, you're clearly working as part of a bigger studio, and this now seems to be something you're doing on your own. Why have you decided that? Why was this something that you went on to do individually? Are you still working for bigger organizations at the same time?
Yeah, no, that's on my spare time. So while working on professional games, so I worked on this as a hobby on my spare time in the weekends.
Cool, that's very, very cool. I wasn't sure because there's obviously, as you've said to me prior to us starting this, the first time you've talked about Shadowgangs, I've not been able to find your background in games development online prior to this. So it's very cool to hear that sometimes when you find things on Kickstarter, it's people's first project, and it can be amazing to see what they do. But it's nice to see that for people like yourself who have been in the industry for some time, you can still find an opportunity to make passion projects such as this. And it sounds like it is a passion project.
Yes, definitely. Yes. So it came at the right time when I was able to actually finance it, because Shadowgangs was financed by me. Artists, musicians, special effects, everything. So it was something that I paid for. So it was, I always dreamt of doing something like this, but I didn't have the means. But now that I was a little bit able to do something, and with a little bit with some concessions, I could do it. So yeah, so I went and did it. Yeah.
Excellent. So I also know that Shadowgangs was backed partially on Kickstarter. If you say you funded everything personally, what was the Kickstarter money going towards? Was that just the development of the Dreamcast version of the game?
Yeah. So Shadowgangs cost for me, I think, around $100,000. So, and even after being released in Steam, Xbox, Switch, and yeah, Xbox Switch, yeah, I didn't get anything near that at all. So I was like, I still didn't break even on the game. No profits at all, so not even breaking even. So the Kickstarter money actually was for me an opportunity to actually get back the money I invested on Shadowgangs.
Do you think have you now recouped 100%? Are you now back to breaking even on it?
Yeah, I have definitely. Yeah, I have reached 100%. Yeah.
I mean, if it's as you said, oh, go ahead.
Yeah, only just. Yeah.
Are you okay with that because it has been something you've wanted to work on for a long time, or would you have rather that you earned millions of dollars from it, which I assume is the answer?
So you mean I am okay with spending money that I might not recover? Sort
of. Are you okay that in the end you've managed to produce the thing that you were passionate about making for some time, and more than that, you're now working on a sequel game as well?
Yes. So yes. So it's something that I really wanted to do, and money is good. It's good to at least get the investment back. That's very important for the sequel, actually, because in the sequel I would not start it if that was not the case. So that's for me, that's very, very important. But I wanted to do Shadowgangs either I get profit from it or not. So it's something that I really wanted to get out. Yeah.
Excellent. So, what about your team? Is it just yourself developing the game, or how many people do you have working with you?
Yes. No, not just me. So there is one. So actually, when I started Shadow Gang, so I worked with a lot of people, like artists. Many artists worked on Shadow Gang. So I had many artists that actually paid them to work. So they did some levels. Some were good, some not good. So I went through a lot of iterations with artists until actually I found ones that I liked very much. So the core artist for Shadow Gangs, there is one. His name is Jericho Benavente, and he's the sprite and level artist. So all the sprites in Shadow Gangs and all the levels were done by him. He's very excellent artist, especially in HD drawing. He's very good. For the loading screens and the cover and the main menu and loading screens, it's another artist, a very good artist from Korea, and his name is Mansi Kyang. There is also a musician. He's my friend. His name is Naim Sufyan. He made all the 11 tracks of Shadow Gangs. And there is Tony Galvez. Is my friend. He is very famous in the retro scene, and he did the voice of Dan. So these are and there is me. So for me, it's the level design, programming. That's what I did on Shadow Gangs. Yeah. So.
Oh, excellent. So a group of 5 in total of the final product.
Yes.
Right, okay. What is like? It sounds like your team is spread all over the world. You mentioned Korea there. I'm not sure where it is. You're based in the UK, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. So Shadow Gang. So I started in the UK, so in the Isle of Wight, when I started in 2015. Yeah, 2015. Jericho Benavente, he's from Philippines. Mansi Kyang from Korea. Naim Sufyan, he's from Morocco. He's a friend of mine. And Tony Galvez is from Spain.
So what is it like producing a project like this with people who are dotted all over the place, all over the world? Is that hard to manage a team that is on different timescales and time schedules and all these sorts of things?
It's not really hard to manage. It's not really. It's actually easy. But the problems is sometimes not everyone delivers on time, or delivers what actually I'm happy with for the game. So, for example, the graphic artist, sometimes he disappears for 3 months. I hear nothing from him, then he comes back. And then we start again.
In that instance, how many times did that happen in the time you were making the game?
Yeah. With the graphic artist, many times.
How many times did you start looking for a new graphic artist?
Yeah. So the issue is this graphic artist was very good. So I looked for like I tested around like 80 to 100 graphic artists. So each one did some drawing, a sprite, or a part of a level. But this one, I didn't find someone like it at the price point, at least, that he was asking for each sprite. That was that good, and that did a job that I really liked. So it was not possible to just drop him. So I had to work with him and motivate him. So it was not easy at all. So it was very difficult to deal with the artist. Yes.
Was that the hardest part of developing this game, or was there a different element that you found more difficult?
Yeah, no, this is the most difficult part. The artist, the art.
Is finding something you like, or managing the different artists that you're working with?
Both of them. So finding someone that does some HD graphics that I like, and animations and sprites that I like, and also managing them, and it's a human, so there is ups and downs. And when an artist is not happy, has some issues at home or with family issues or something that happens to everyone. So art and just stops. So it's difficult. And also artists, each one has his own style of drawing and his own inspiration. So when he is happy in a good mood and everything, he can draw something incredible. And when not, art is not as good. And I can see that. I can see the difference. So yeah, it was between me and him. It was a lot of back and forth. Like change this. This is not good. This is good. Yeah, things like this.
But
yeah,
it's all worked out in the end to a positive result.
Yes. It's all worked out, and thankfully, even if he was late delivering the arts, I was also working in the game on my side, and I never stopped on my side. And in the end, we got to the same point at the end. Like so we got to the finish line together.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
The rabbit and the hare sort of situation. You're the rabbit, and those are the same one. The tortoise and the hare. You're the tortoise. You keep going, you keep going. He's the hare. He runs. He stops. He runs.
Stops. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Are you working with the same team for developing Shadow Gangs too, or are some things different? Have some people got less time to be part of it, or what's the plan there?
Yeah. So for Shadow Gangs 2, so I wanted to keep the same musician because I like his music, I like his style. And for the artist, I wanted also the same artist to be with me. So at first, he started to deliver some of the new characters, actually just one. But then he stopped. He stopped sending any art at all. And it was not stopping like for a month or 2 or 3 or 4. Like now it's nearly 6 months and I get nothing from him. So I decided to not work with him anymore. And I'm working now with another artist, which is very, very good. And also famous. He's a famous artist, French artist. And his art is as good, if not better than the old one. And,
what is his name? Or are you saving that as a reveal for when the game's closer to coming out?
No, I can't say his name now. His name is Jérôme Lignier. He has the difference between this new artist and the old one. He has experience in the video game industry. So right. I think he started doing. He started on maybe the Amiga PC games, and then did the Game Boy Advance games. So he's a professional. And also his art is really beautiful. Yeah. So. Yeah, so I feel lucky to have to be working with it.
Excellent. You mentioned some older consoles there. Obviously, R-CADE Glasgow, we're all about retro video games here. And the main reason that I'm speaking to you this evening is because Shadow Gangs has been ported to Dreamcast. You now have physical copies of Dreamcast discs. That was part of the Kickstarter we were talking about earlier. Why the decision to convert the game to Dreamcast and to produce discs of it?
Yeah, so the Dreamcast, I didn't know about that it was possible to port new games to the Dreamcast, or I didn't have the Dreamcast in my radar at all. Like for me, it was PC and then maybe Xbox and then Switch. But some fans of the Dreamcast saw Shadow Gangs and say this game will look good on the Dreamcast. It's like Shinobi. Shinobi was on the Dreamcast. This is like Shinobi of the Dreamcast, something that will fill that void. So, so it was mainly fans, yes. So the fans really asked for me to do this conversion, and I started doing some tests in 2017. I took like 3 months just to see if I could pull it off on the Dreamcast. And my results was mixed. I was not sure if it's possible or not. I did load into a level, but yeah, it was not great. Like I still wasn't 100% sure I could do it. So after the game was released on PC, and also actually there's also an arcade version, which is X-Arcadia version. We can talk about it later if you want.
Yeah, of course.
Because when I did the Dreamcast, it was in parallel with the X-Arcadia version. And after it was released, yeah, so people came back to me and said, no, it's released. So can you try to put it on the Dreamcast? So yes, so I brought a Dreamcast from Alibaba in China with GDMU, and I started developing on it actually on real hardware.
What's it like developing for older technology and something that you've never even played before, like you said?
Yeah, so I never had a Dreamcast. I didn't play with it before, and I never developed before on it. But there is a great open source SDK for Dreamcast called COS, it's COS, and there is a big community around it. And on the internet, you can find tutorials and help on how to start developing on the Dreamcast. And also, which is a very important thing, there is a Discord channel which has some really great people that helped me a lot. Like Luke Bensteed, he goes by the nickname Kazat, and Jan Michaels and others, and they helped me in the Dreamcast development programming side. So that was a great help. And after a year and a half of programming for the Dreamcast, the version was ready. Yeah. So it took a long time. Yeah. So it was not easy at all.
Has doing this given you an appreciation for the Dreamcast? Have you become a fan now that you've got your own game on it?
Yeah. So actually, I was talking with my brother, and I told him, you see now Shadow Gangs on the Dreamcast. Do you think in a Pentium 2 200 megahertz it will work like this? And he said, I don't think on 200 megahertz Pentium, I don't think you can pull off what the Dreamcast can. Not without like hardware acceleration, like graphic hardware acceleration. Even then, at that time, it's I don't know if it was possible or not. So yes. So when I see now Shadow Gangs on the Dreamcast, at first, to be honest, I was looking at it down. Like I was looking at like a console that is really poor, like low performance, 16 megs of RAM. I didn't put it on the same level like as a PlayStation 2, for example, or on the original Xbox. But with working on it, slowly I came to really appreciate the Dreamcast and the power of the Dreamcast. Like it's really a powerful console, and just Shadow Gangs, it's an HD game, and like if you see the first level, there is like six parallax layers, and it works at 60 frames per second.
Right. So
when I look at it, yes. So the Dreamcast, like on my eyes, it grew a lot on my eyes. Yes.
Excellent. The game is being, I don't know if publish is the right word, but it's available through Wave Studios, who have helped a lot of creators bring out Dreamcast games in recent years. What has it been like working with them? Were they also someone that helped you along the way, or have they really come in the last stage of things?
Yes. So with Wave Studios, they are amazing. Daniel, when I was doing the Kickstarter, there was a discussion between me and him about getting help on the Kickstarter, because all those physical items, all those things, I have no idea how to actually get them out. So it's something for me I didn't know, and it will be for me. And even if I tried to do that, it would be too much work and a lot of hassle, too much hassle to do this. So I'm very lucky and happy to have Daniel help me on this, yes. So it was like this. So I had some alternatives, but in the end, I went with Wave Game Studios. They're nice people, and they give you a better offer than the other ones. So
right.
Yeah.
And talking of the physical items that come with a Kickstarter, you were able to ship physical copies of the game a year earlier than you expected to. Is that down to limiting expectations of the audience by not promising them something that you weren't sure you could do? Or has things like this been a lot easier than you were expecting it to be?
So I would say, so when the Kickstarter was up, so the game was like 99% finished. It was already finished because I didn't want to put a Kickstarter until I was sure that I could have the game on a CD and for people to actually play. I didn't want to put some sort of scam like in there. So I wanted to be sure that the game will be out and it will not take a long time to be out. So for me, the 1 year between the Kickstarter and the actual release of the game, it was for me to actually get this physical CDs, T-shirts, and physical things sorted. So I was thinking I will handle them myself and I do all the stuff. Yeah, so with my partnership with Wave, it was possible to get it out faster. So because they know how to, they deal with this kind of things, and it was much faster than anticipated. So Kickstarter finished like I think on March, and the game was ready on July.
Oh, excellent, excellent.
Yeah.
Speaking again about the game, we've mentioned a couple of times references to the Shinobi franchise as part of it. You tweeted out something from the Shadow Gang's Twitter account, which was in quotation marks, and I want to know if this is a genuine comment you've received from someone. What you tweeted out was, I mean, if you're going to make a game that's like a love letter to Shinobi, why do you make a game like the old crappy ones instead of Shinobi 3, the best game in the whole series? Is that genuinely what someone has said to you about Shadow Gangs?
Yeah, that's a genuine comment from Adam Koralik video of Shadow Gangs. That's a real comment, yes. So I saw comments like this before, but yeah, when I saw that one, I thought, yeah, let me post it on Twitter and see people's reaction to it.
Have you had more support or negative comments about the game? Because it seems like you've been getting a lot of support from content creators, and obviously the Kickstarter raised over £25,000. So it seems like people are supportive of it, but have you had quite a lot of negative reaction as well?
Yeah, I had a lot of good reactions and a lot of negative reactions too, yes. Negative reactions, yeah, a lot. Like graphics look bad. I won't say the words, but you know what I mean. Graphics. Yeah, look at the main character, how he is. Look, he's throwing shurikens in jeans. Look, yeah, the characters like animation. It's choppy. Music all the same, graphics.
Do these things bother you, or do you have the opportunity to say, well, this many people have bought it and said lovely things, so I don't really care?
Yeah, so at first, actually, when I was developing, so things like this, not the hateful ones, but the one that gives a criticism, a fair criticism of the game. This helps me a lot to improve the game. So, like when the main character was in bicycle
shorts, as we're talking about.
So I got changed to jeans. So it was because of criticism about that. Yeah. So I think it's a good thing. So there are actually a lot of negative comments actually helped me get the game better.
All right, so there's you can find a silver lining to the negatives.
And actually it doesn't bother me getting hateful comments on the game. Doesn't bother me at all. No.
Okay.
I don't like it. Make me feel not happy or down for a day or two. But then after I hear a little bit of Shadow Gangs music and I get ready again to to resume the game.
Oh, excellent! One of the reviews you got from I believe Bygode Games, hopefully I've pronounced that correctly. It will kill your longing for Shinobi and most likely win a space in your heart. So again, see positive people really enjoying it.
Yeah,
we've always talked about it's influenced by Shinobi. People draw that comparison themselves. Is there a part of you that wishes Shadow Gangs could stand on its own and not receive so many comparisons? Or are you happy that the thing that has influenced you is clearly visible to people playing it.
Yeah, so of course I wanted Shadowgangs to be its own thing. Like it's but also I wanted it to be, because when I the story about Shinobi, because for me Shinobi was maybe one of the best arcade games ever for me, because the way the action in Shinobi, the physics, the enemies, the enemy types, they are very different. Like say just to compare Shinobi with Data East Bad Dudes. Shinobi has a lot of enemies, and each enemy has different attacks and different mechanics in the game. It's AI. It's much more developed than other games. So if you go into the details, you will see a lot of plus points in Shinobi, in how the game was made and how the game flows. The combat is very satisfying. The score is satisfying. Like there is a little bit of secrets in there. The bosses, the bonus stage is very, very nice bonus stage. So it was it's for me it was a very, very important game. So I wanted Shadowgangs to when I wanted to do Shadowgangs, I wanted to do it on some strong foundation. I wanted it to be on strong footing. So Shinobi for me was the foundation of Shadowgangs. So I built it from Shinobi up. So for me, Shinobi action was good, which means that even the gameplay area, I wanted it to be the same as Shinobi, because say if I put the game as 16:9 wide, it will change the dynamics of the game a lot, because I could do that, but I did it 4:3. But if I did it 16:9, so just imagine with me this. So the Dan will be standing like here, and the enemy, you will see it coming from far away. So you will throw your shurikens, and you will see. So there is no more this enemy surprise coming to you in a surprising manner.
It makes it a much easier game if you develop it for modern televisions as opposed to 4x3.
Yes, because you will see him coming from far away, and your shuriken will kill him while he's still and to the right to the screen. So you will change the dynamics of the game completely. So this is one of the things that I wanted to preserve. So the action has to be good. So that 4:3 is important in this area. So if you zoom out on the game, then like doing it 16:9, you see more, but the action will be impacted a lot.
So the comparisons to Shinobi for you are a good thing. They are a good thing to get.
Yes. The physics of Shinobi, the speed, when the enemies are near you, you start doing melee attacks. You can change levels, so that's good. So you have action in this plane, and then you can have action on the other plane, and go from plane to plane, and have enemies follow you to the other planes. It gives like this action movies scenario of ninjas jumping and action everywhere. Yeah, so it's a very good foundation to base the game too. That's for sure. The first Shinobi, yeah.
And speaking on the positive response that this game, that your creation has had. You've had a lot of support from content creators, people making YouTube videos about Shadowgangs, whether it be just the PC version, the Xbox version, the Dreamcast version specifically. Has that been something you've pushed for? Like, have you been contacting people saying, hey, you should check out my game? Or has that been a very organic process? Have people just found it and latched onto it?
Yeah, it was for the most part, it was people finding the game and liking it. Yes, it's true that I don't know how other content creators and programmers feel or see the game, how it is, reception for the game. but for me, Shadow Gangs is more than a game. It's and for other people too. From what I've seen, they say that for them they use strong words to talk about Shadow Gangs. So I think it's something that it's what I feel, and to see other people feeling things like this makes me happy, and also makes me think that yeah, I was correct to do Shadow Gangs the way it is now.
Excellent. And just my final question, we've talked a little bit about Shadow Gangs 2. How far into development are you with that game? And is there plans to do another Kickstarter for that in the future? What is the intention with Shadow Gangs 2 today?
Yes. So for Shadow Gangs 2, so Shadow Gangs the first one, it was Foundation Shinobi, and the levels, traditional arcade levels, standard levels like forest, cave,
yes, yeah.
canyons, temple, so like something that is standard, that people know. But for Shadow Gangs 2, I want to move out from the standard thing. So I want to do things a little bit different. So instead of forest, cave, city level, it will be much more atmospheric type of level with a little bit more respect of the story. Because Shadow Gangs 1, there is no respect of story or of going from level to level. Like you go from the city to the bridge, but what's the connection? There is no real connection in there. There's a little bit, but not much. But Shadow Gangs 2, I want to have something that respects a little bit the story and the flow, and to have non-traditional and non-standard level, like more like, for example, South American jungle level, something like this, or Zone 51 underground base, something like that. So it will not be classic levels. It will be different.
Something different.
When
are you intending to? Are you? We've said that you're developing it now. How far into that are you?
Yeah. So for now, of course, code-wise, so Shadow Gangs 2 will be based over Shadow Gangs 1. So it will be adding things over the Shadow Gangs 1 engine. So the good thing is there is already something, so it will base itself on it. For the art side, the new graphic artist I'm working with, so he already started drawing levels, and the plan is, like Shadow Gangs 1, to have 15 levels, 10 regular levels and 5 boss levels, and 2 bonus stages. And now I think we are on the 6th regular level, so 15, and we are on 6th. So like maybe like 30% level completed. Excellent. And also there is the sprites. So we're still not on the sprites. We still didn't start doing sprites at all, which we plan to do on middle of next year, hopefully.
So is the expectation to hopefully release the game in 2 years' time or 3 years' time?
Yeah, I would say 3 to 4 years time.
3 to 4 years time.
Let's say 4 years. 4 years will be more
realistic.
Yeah, more realistic. Yes.
With as a final roundup, with the Kickstarter that you ran, was that a positive experience, and would you want to do something similar for Shadow Gangs 2?
Yes. It's something very important for me to do a Kickstarter, because if I was able to break even from Shadow Gangs 1, it was mainly because of the Kickstarter. It did help a lot in this regard. So hopefully the Kickstarter for Shadow Gangs 2 will allow me to get the funds in advance, because Shadow Gangs 1 I paid and then I got back from the Kickstarter. But this one, hopefully, will allow me to get the funds in advance to fund the game. Hopefully it will happen. Yeah.
Okay, excellent. Well, expect a Kickstarter to be available sometime soon for Shadow Gangs 2. Thank you very much, Ali from ShadowTeam, for speaking to me this evening. Send our viewers, where can they find you? Where can they find Shadow Gangs? Where can they find your work?
So it's Twitter, HTTP, Twitter Shadow Gangs. That's the main place to get all the news for Shadow Gangs.
Excellent. And you know where to find us. We are at 121 Saltmarket in Glasgow if you want to play some retro video games, or you can watch some more videos here on the R-CADE Glasgow YouTube channel. Thank you to Ali for speaking to me this evening, and thank you to everyone watching. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you for having me, Sam.
Thank you.